This is the Calm Podcast.
We put out a survey and asked what you want from a music podcast, and we listened and delivered.
The result is these 4 episodes where we will invite in one music-related guest each that we know and admire and talk about what you want to hear.
So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
I like when bands retweet stuff,
Oh, what, did the Currents actually retweet it?
so that might actually get me some shit.
Man. Yeah, they were pretty
Might
good
get some
in
likes.
Portsmouth.
Yeah, Dave was saying about it.
Employed were pretty cool. They didn't play anything off the first album. It was all just from the second album.
It was sick though.
What?
What,
Johnny
nothing
to
at
be-
all?
Nah. But it's really weird
They
though.
were really, really good though.
Yeah, they were sick. So obviously, like the first album's more kind of obviously like techie, but their second album's more like more groove.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how much groove actually had in it until when and plus the ambient parts, it just sounds so much like Deftones. It was
Dave said loads of
Yeah,
people
it
were
was
like screaming the words.
yeah,
as
yeah.
well.
During the last one that I'll spend my days, there's literally like about 20 people going like, oh man, that's sick. It was cool.
This is actually quite a good way of starting it, I think.
Yeah.
Just like,
The calm cast. Yeah, it's pretty sick. Do you want to introduce
What's it
yourself?
called?
The Calm Cast.
Calm. I thought you said
Yeah.
Khan at first.
just
Imagine.
Khan.
Yeah.
Khanist cast.
Like sheer Khan.
But yeah, do you want to introduce yourself?
My name's Jonny. I just got back from work. Yeah, I'm in a few bands and run a record label.
Yeah, we're gonna obviously talk about that like during the podcast, obviously like kind of what you first done when you first started, and obviously to what you're doing now. So yeah, let's talk about like obviously the origins. Like what was the first band like kind of got you into music?
Do you mean like that I like listened to like in depth, or like wanted to like play music, be like actually involved kind of thing?
You can answer both of them. That's
God, I don't know. I don't know what the first band I liked is, but I know that I still have a Steps cassette tape at home and a
Sick.
Will Smith CD. What do you call it? Big Willie style.
what's that made you want to play? Did that make
I
you
don't
want to
know.
play hardcore?
That's how Robert
Maybe,
Torment
yeah,
began.
pretty much.
Big Willie style.
Still got it at home, which is weird.
Cool.
But that's like the earliest like music I own. So I guess
Yeah.
that's what I was listening to when I was a
I'd
kid.
say. So what was the like the first like instrument that you played? Was it guitar?
Yeah, guitar. So I begged my mum for like lessons for ages. It was like year 9 at school. Had them for like 6 months or so, like on and off. And then I was like, nah, can't be bothered with this anymore. And then went to uni and then just like picked someone. Just before I came to uni, one of my friends gave me his guitar to look after and they never asked for it back. So I was like, oh, I'm going to teach myself guitar. So I taught myself guitar. That's the one that you
That's
have.
what I say. Is that the one that I've got?
Yeah,
Wow. So you've kind of ripped me off for 30 quid then.
got
if
30
you-
quid
yeah.
for a free guitar.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, but I played all your bass bits on
Yeah.
the new songs. So
Yeah, you do.
Ooh.
We will talk about that later.
Why? Okay, no, yeah, talk about it.
Yeah, we'll talk about it later.
there you go, I laughed.
But,
And now it's clipping.
yeah, what was the first ever band you were in?
So, I won't talk about the name of it. We can talk
Nah,
about
that's
it,
fine.
'cause
That's fine.
There's only like a few people who know the first name of it. It's like, it was okay. It's like embarrassing photos from when you're like in college and just like dressed really embarrassingly. It was like, it's kind of like southern rock,
Ooh.
post-hardcore kind of thing.
Well, kind of like Every Time I Die. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, but nowhere near as heavy. It was like that kind of thing though. It's kind of like slightly hardcorey, but not really hardcorey.
Cool.
We played with Throats though. That was cool. And like Maths and Bastions, like
Jesus.
back in the day.
That's
Yeah. I was really drunk when we played that show. It was pretty
wow.
funny.
We can we'll talk about
Fuck,
that.
I've never heard you say anything like that.
we will talk about that later. But yeah, I mean, obviously, people do know you obviously for like your record label and stuff like that. What other interests do you have which people maybe might not know?
I really like football. I've always been into football since I was like a kid. I did football at uni, football studies. Everyone always thinks, what the fuck? You're into like metal and stuff, but you did football. That doesn't make sense. Yeah, I play for like a Sunday team and play like 3 times a week doing stuff. Always been into that. What else do I like? I like tofu. Tofu's pretty sick.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah. I don't know. Put me on the spot now. Playing PlayStation's good after work.
Yeah.
Like playing FIFA.
I mean,
football.
we've mostly been playing Fortnite a lot.
And
as
Fortnite.
well.
I haven't played anything since Fortnite came out.
Yeah.
Although I went to play it yesterday or the day before, and I was like, I think I've maybe hit my point where I'm maybe like getting bored of it now.
Getting bored of it, yeah.
I don't know.
So I kind of added like a few kind of stuff, but nothing really amazing to kind of be like, oh yeah, this makes me want to play it again. Because I remember playing with like Ollie and stuff like for so long, literally like 2 weeks straight.
They haven't really added like any like new things.
I was about to say, I think if they added like a new map or whatever, I think that'll be
that's what it needs. It needs like new maps or something.
Pretty cool. But yeah, we were me and Connor were kind of talking like before you came and whatever about like conspiracy theories, and like you kind of into a few of them, like ancient aliens and stuff. So I don't know if you want to kind of give a little like
okay.
Going straight into
to go straight into it.
Make it sound like I believe in aliens. Like, I don't know.
Flat Earth, what are you saying?
I don't know. Need to have a look at that. I haven't been on a plane in a while, so I'm not sure.
Good point.
Yeah, like me and my housemate sometimes when it's really late at night and he's really high, put on like National Geographic and watch like ancient alien programs. Most of it I think is pretty stupid, because one theory, some guy was saying like he thinks the moon is like Star Wars, you got the Death Star.
Yeah.
He's saying like the moon is the Death Star for aliens.
Legit, okay.
There's the only one thing I've seen which is kind of convincing is like called like the Montor Monster, is it? Yeah, it's called like Monster. Backtrack actually had it on a shirt. But it like this washed up creature that they think came from like a animal testing place, and it was like a load of animals like kind of bred together.
Yeah.
It looks really weird.
Wow.
That's like the only thing I've seen which is kind of like, but they're good to watch, see how like kooky people are.
Yeah.
I was about to say, because I know a couple of the videos that we've watched are like literally like 3 hours long, and literally Dave's like there just going like, this is amazing.
Another conspiracy I've seen actually recently through Joe Rogan podcast is people saying that Alex Jones is a government like he's not real.
Oh really?
And some people think that he's like a set up character by the government.
I mean,
and Joe Rogan's like, I've known him forever, so it's impossible.
I don't know, but I think some of like his opinions and stuff are very like kind of really out there. Some of them's like, what the hell? They don't even make sense.
It'd be crazy if he was, and he'd been fooling people like this whole time.
I mean, people think like Mark Zuckerberg is a lizard, so you know, I don't know. There could be
introduced sponsorship to Facebook. So.
Have you seen all like the data privacy settings for like everything has changed now?
Yeah. I literally got out like the other day, like on Facebook, like they
even Airbnb.
Really?
Like, random sites are just sorting out their data now.
That's pretty crazy.
Jesus Christ,
Mr. Zuckerberg, my friend.
Oh, I wish I had that much money.
Man had changed it all. But yeah, probably less about conspiracy theories. We could probably talk about it for like 2 hours or whatever. But yeah, I mean, obviously you talked about like obviously the first kind of artists that you listened to. What would you say was the one band that got you into like heavy music and or hardcore?
That's a pretty tricky one. I wouldn't say there's one. I'd say there's maybe like 4.
Yeah,
I'd say 4 from a period of time. Then, yeah. Like, don't know what year it was, but it's when SSX3 was out. Reason I remember is because I'd like go home from school, play that and listen to music, and it was kind of like it's when iTunes was like what Spotify is now, and everyone was on iTunes.
Yeah.
So I'd like just listen to music at home, and I had bought like 4 songs from like 4 different bands. I had like 4 songs off of Count Your Blessings, Bring Me the Horizon, 4 songs off of Architects, Ruin, and then I had 4 songs off of Constitutions of Treason by God Forbid, and 4 songs off of we call it Fall of Ideals by All That Remains.
Cool.
But like I think that's what got me mainly into like underground, like rather than just like what's on TV. There's some other stuff I'd seen on like I don't know, like Kerrang and stuff.
What? So you would say that they're kind of bands that kind of introduced like, this is really like sick. I want to kind of listen to more bands that
more
sound
than what's on TV.
Yeah, cool.
Like more to delve into.
And then what about maybe the first show that you went to? This would be good. This would be a good one to wind up everyone.
The first show I went to was Enter Shikari. It was literally like 10 years ago, a few months ago.
What was the
sick.
Where was the venue at?
It was London Astoria, which doesn't exist anymore.
That's so mad.
Got knocked down for like classic like apartment buildings kind
it's
of
like
thing.
by Tottenham Court Road, isn't it?
Yeah. There was like such a good venue. Saw like Unit 6 there, Under Oath.
Really?
Was that like the Unit 6 one when they first like sold it out?
I don't know if it was the first one they sold it out, but it's when Take Your
like the big that was like I think there's like 4 bands that have sold it out as an unsigned band.
I was about to say, was it called The Mean Fiddler before?
There's like a smaller one.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking. There's a few bands that I've heard that they've played there.
Never been to a show before. I went to that and they had like crazy pyrotechnics and everything. I like
Really?
never even seen like a small band anywhere. I was like, what the fuck is this? Am I allowed to
Jeez.
swear?
Just did, mate. It's
Sick.
fine. It's cool. It's fine.
Cunt.
Oh, shit! I
Jeez.
was gonna do it.
Say
But
whatever you
Yeah.
want.
I mean, Connor's kind of a. You know,
It can't get worse than that now.
yeah.
I
We have
don't know.
now peaked.
Definitely could. But
Yeah, it could do. But nah, it's cool. I mean, obviously first shows and stuff. What what other reasons did you actually get into like hardcore? Was it, like maybe the ethics or something, or
I don't know. I don't know. Firstly, I got into it because of the music.
yeah.
I'd say I got into it because of the music, but I've stayed in it because of like the more like the ethical kind of stuff and like animal rights and like
Well, being, like,
social stuff
yeah.
and like politics. I'd say that's why I've like stayed in it.
So that's
If that wasn't there,
yeah.
maybe
I mean, we can talk about you being like vegan and straight edge and stuff if you want.
Up to you.
Yeah.
You tell
So
me.
so how long have you been straight edge for then?
Been straight edge for like 7 years in summer.
Yeah.
Well, why don't, just in case our listeners, because we might have people who heard the DJ one from earlier,
That is true.
so they might not know what straight edge is. So,
Straight edge is when you're in school and you're in math lesson and you have to like draw a screw. You get a ruler.
That's a good.
okay,
That's
fuck that then, okay.
that's a good
So
dad
straight edge
joke.
is basically you don't do drugs, essentially. Like no alcohol, no
Mhm.
smoking, weed, cocaine, ecstasy, E.
You lost me at
All
cocaine.
that.
But I say, what made you decide to go straight edge then?
So I only ever really drank around like college and the
Yeah.
first year of uni. So it was never like a massive thing. I only ever did it if I was with like friends.
I only found out that you ever drank like the other day.
Really?
And I can't even imagine it.
Oh, there's some funny old photos, but I think they don't exist anymore. But they're good.
Mm.
I'll see if I can find them one
They
day.
always exist.
Yeah, I only ever drank for like social occasions. It was never like it was like whatever. And then
Yeah.
I never did like drugs. I've only
Yeah.
ever had like 2 totes of cigarettes.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I don't know. Like first year of uni, it was like I was a classic person who goes to uni becomes a dickhead,
Mm.
and then as time gradually went on, I like realised how much of a mug I was being. So I was like, well, I'm not gonna stop doing that because it's not really helping me with anything.
So I was about to say, was it for like your own reasons? Was it not like a band that made you want to become straight edge as well?
Nah,
Was
no.
it just because you
Was
thought
it?
like I want to be? I don't know. I don't want to be this person anymore. So now I want to change into
No,
something else.
yeah, I
so-
think it was because of that. I guess some bands probably made it seem cooler.
Yeah. Well,
Like-
what kind of bands at the time? At the time then.
God, I don't think it was around at the time. Have Heart was probably the main one.
Yeah.
Also
Okay.
liked maybe like Abolition and Foundation around the time.
Cool.
Yeah, they'd probably just made it seem cooler than it actually is.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. All right. So yeah, talk about like ethics and stuff then. So when you first started going to shows or whatever, let's start talking about the start of the UIC then. How did that
Okay.
how'd that go happen, and why did you
And what is it?
yeah, what is it?
So UIC, it's a bit different to what it is now. It started as like a group of people putting on like hardcore, punk, metal kind of gigs in Southampton. We don't really do the gigs now because there's nowhere near as many venues as there
Yeah,
were.
I was about to
And
say, yeah.
I'm a lot older. I don't really have the time,
Yeah.
and I can't be bothered these days.
Yeah, I was about to say we're going to talk about like venues and stuff like later
Yeah,
as well.
cool. So yeah, it started as a group of people like putting on shows in Southampton, like 2012. Someone put on like Backtrack in Southampton, and then I met Adam through that somehow. I can't remember how.
Yeah.
And then we got speaking. There's another guy I used to know who used to be here called Luke Franklin. Don't know if you know him from like Reading.
Okay.
We just got talking, thought it'd be a cool idea. Started it, got a few other people on board. There's like around 10 of us, and don't know exactly how many. And we started doing it. We started doing shows maybe like every month or two, pretty much for like 3, 4, 5 years, and it kind of like slowed down gradually towards the last few years.
Yeah.
Still kind of do mainly me doing like an all-dayer like once every year or so
Yeah.
sometimes,
Mhm.
and get other people to help now and then.
Cool.
But, yeah.
Would you say that it's kind of evolved into Rage in any
So
way?
I did Rage before UIC.
Ooh,
So
that's
I
a
did,
good.
did Rage
story.
first, and then UIC, and then as UIC ended, that's why Rage like started again.
Was it always a
Yeah.
label?
No, so it started with the intention of being a zine.
Okay.
I did like I
Oh,
don't
cool.
know, 3-4 zines, and then like halfway through the first one, my friend's band was like, "Oh, we're putting this out," and I was like,
I can do that.
Do you want to?
Well, I don't know if I can, but
That's right.
yeah.
Do you want to name drop the band who?
Feral
first
Youth.
Right.
One of the guitarists in Higher Power was in it. It's like a youth crew band.
Oh, cool.
From Nottingham. It's really good for youth crew, because most youth crew is kind of boring.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, they were sick. They had like sick lyrics, and we did like a zine for their release as well.
Oh, cool.
That was cool.
But I think we're going to talk about more about Rage like later, and obviously how kind of big it has become now, whether kind of you like it or not. I still think it's kind of for UK hardcore bands. I think if they kind of want to be on that platform, and they're like, oh, we want to release something. I think they definitely kind of think like, oh, Rage obviously could carry the weight. Record label used to be such a big label because obviously it had some big like hardcore acts on it. Now obviously it's not anymore. So I don't know, maybe hopefully Rage can kind of be that next one where they kind of go.
I don't think it'll go that far, just for the fact I don't have that much money.
Yeah,
like I think it's kind of good. I think it's sick for like new bands more than anything.
But yeah, I mean that's what I'm saying. Like I think it's sick.
We're speaking to like Sam from Renounce about potentially like, because they're looking for someone to do a repress of like whatever they got repressed on Holy Roar.
What is it, the second album or?
I think it was the first one. We were just like joking around about it.
Yeah,
It was like, oh, if Rage could afford 5,000 copies, you can do it. But like in reality, we can't afford like proper that much for bands.
But yeah, I think we're kind of going a bit further ahead than what I kind of wanted to originally go. What was the first hardcore band you were in?
First hardcore band I was in was No Excuse.
All right, let's.
Which was a youth crew band.
Yeah.
Straight edge band.
How long was that band active for?
God, I don't know. So, I wasn't in it when it first started. I don't know. They must have. Maybe they must have started it in mid 2012 or so. They had a band before, but I think No Excuse started mid 2012, and then I joined in like early 2013.
Okay.
And then it ended pretty much end of 2014. Yeah, I don't know. It felt longer at the time, but I don't think it was that long looking back.
So I say, how did you kind of feel like being in that band? Kind of, I don't know, I mean, obviously that was the start of you going to like hardcore shows. How do you kind of feel like, oh, I'm in a hardcore band and like I'm playing with these shows with other hardcore bands I kind of liked?
I don't know. It was weird because I was like older than the other people in the band. Yeah. And the songs, this is U Crew, wasn't that hard. It wasn't that hard to play, but I was just learning to play guitar, so it was a bit of a weird one. It's like I was playing guitar at that stage for like a young stage than younger age than I should.
I say, I mean, it's quite cool because I mean, obviously you kind of told me before like what you've kind of done, like you've done Europe before. That's quite mad considering like you said that's the first band you've been to, and you're like, I don't know.
Yeah, we weren't that good of a band to be honest, but like we went to Slovakia. How many bands have been to Slovakia? Like, that's probably still the best show I played.
Really?
Like we had an encore of like 2 songs as well.
What did you just play the same 2 old songs?
I think we played 1 song and like another one we'd already played.
Sick. But yeah, no. Trying to think. For someone gone blank now. How come you lot decided to end like No Excuse, or was it just?
Well, I don't think we decided to. It kind of like happened.
It just felt right.
So we did that last tour, and then.
What was that? The Europe one, the last tour?
Yeah, it's like week in Europe and a week in England, and then Ben went to uni in Sheffield like the coming September. This was that tour was like August.
Yeah.
So Ben went uni in September, and then 2 of them broke edge basically like not long after. And one of them has straight edge tattoos on his feet. So
I say, how do you
that's a fun one.
I say, how do you feel about that? Obviously, because you've been edge for like you said 7 years.
People can like do what they want.
I mean, obviously, but do you not think it's a bit weird? Like at that moment in time,
weird.
like you kind of were like, yeah, I'm being edge, and then you kind of maybe see him a couple years later, they're like smoking a cigarette.
Yeah.
But do you not think it's a bit
mainly
like,
people who are like younger?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, impressionable. They're more in it for like the cooler band kind of reason.
Yeah.
Like,
well, I think that
like
comes with being under the legal age as well. So you see, not for everyone, but like a lot of people that I've seen who are edge before 18, they haven't even like lived that part yet.
Yeah,
so I think when they can, they just kind of go like.
That makes sense a little bit. And a lot of people say, "Oh, you're only edge because you're like under 18 anyway." So you can't drink anyway. I mean,
that's
you
bullshit.
can.
You
but
can.
Like, law doesn't mean
yeah,
anything.
Of course.
Like,
I think most people
but
start
like,
drinking like
what you're
14,
saying
15, but like
makes sense.
Yeah.
Like
for sure.
Because I had like I don't know 3 years of doing weird things.
Yeah.
So kind of like I've had that, so
cool.
I know what it's like. So.
Yeah.
Cool.
And like a lot of that stuff you can do sober anyway.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You guys went to.
apart
Did you
from-
both do the emo night at the?
Oh yeah.
Engine
Yeah,
room?
that was
Oh,
sick.
sick.
That was a really good time.
Emo club nights are sick.
Yeah, we were all like almost like properly moshing to like Enter Shikari. It was so fun.
I wasn't. Just want to state in that. I was not.
I mean, I was, but you know,
Well,
I
they played
think
Hawthorne Heights. Nearly got there.
I saw them supporting Red Jumpsuit Apparatus back in the day.
Really?
were
That's
they
sick.
were they good?
No.
Oh,
Really?
Nah,
Well, 'cause
Hawthorne Heights were okay.
I was like, because then they
Was
recently.
that with the guitarist or after he?
After.
After.
I was about to say because they recently played what's the venue called? Above the Social.
The
So-
Loft, yeah.
The Loft. 'Cause I swear they played like that album in
It was
full,
the
didn't
night.
they?
It was the night that
That's when that Harley wanted to go
Realm
to.
played at the Alex, and I wasn't there. I was somewhere. I don't know what I was doing. I wasn't there. You were there. It's when you did that mic thing on stage.
Oh yeah,
It was
let's
that
not-
same night.
Yeah,
Oh god, that.
yeah, the one where yeah.
I can't remember where I was. I wasn't here.
Was it work? No, it wasn't work.
No, it would have been like, I don't know,
Obviously, it was on Sunday, wasn't
some
it? Whatever.
family or something.
Cool.
Thing.
But
Fucking family.
But yeah, talking about like shows and stuff. Then what was like? Is there a massive difference, like how the shows were like? What sort of the shows were like when you first got into hardcore to what they are now? Is there a massive difference, or would you say it's kind of there's not really that much difference?
Mm.
I mean, even maybe like the attendance maybe is slightly.
I don't know. When I first got into hardcore, the shows I went to were like where I'm from, which is High Wycombe in like
Yeah.
Buckinghamshire, like which had like a really good scene then. But everyone was like really young. Like 90% of people were probably like 14 to 16, 17, which was weird. Like,
Mm.
and I was in college like 18, 19, I guess. Around 18. And then everyone doing the shows, most people doing the shows were like year 10, 11. Like in the hardcore
What
scene in Wycombe.
what putting on shows?
Yeah, like
Jeez.
like a band called
That's
Back
crazy.
Down. One of them came here actually. They've all dropped out now.
Yeah.
But yeah, one of them came here and stuff. Yeah, it's weird. I don't know. Moshing's completely different to back then. I think that's the thing that's mainly different. That's like always changes.
Oh, so you don't think like
There wasn't like crowd killing then. Well, the shows I went to, there wasn't like Wycombe. There wasn't crowd killing. I never really went to like heavier shows like in London with like I don't know LBU bands or like heavier kind of bands. So I don't know what those would have been like. They probably were. I just wasn't there at the time.
Cool. All right, yeah, let's talk about kind of like the current bands that you're in now. So like Realm, Torment, and like Nihility. How come you wanted to start Realm, and then how come you? Was it right that you joined Nihility? You weren't like a first member.
No.
Yeah,
So
talk
Realm is like. So metalcore is my favourite kind of music. Always has been. It's like the band I've always wanted to do. So when I finally got to a stage where I can kind of play metal, I was like, right, I'm gonna start this band. Me and Andy like started a like side band just before it.
Oh, okay.
Which was pretty crap. But it would, like if we didn't do that, Realm wouldn't have happened. It like got me and him like working together, I guess.
What kind of style was the side project? Was it still metal?
It's kind of like 90s, early 2000s, like hard metallic hardcore.
I was about to say because I don't think I've heard you mention that. You said you were
don't
on the
exist.
side.
The recordings don't exist anymore. Like it's done really badly.
Oh wait, so there was actually like recordings.
Yeah, I did like one demo, but it was like done really bad. Like, cause I've never before that, I'd still never really recorded apart from No Excuse. And No Excuse recording experience was like abysmal. It wasn't
Cool.
like good.
All right.
So yeah, and then Nihility, 2 people left, and then they asked me and Larry to join. For essentially, and then I've left like twice since I've joined. There's always arguments, but it's good.
So yeah. So why did you kind of like? Was there another reason why you wanted to join the Hillies? It maybe just wanting to kind of because I know with Realm you're the person that kind of controls everything.
Yeah.
With Nihili, did you kind of feel like I still want to play shows, but I don't really want to be like the person that does everything. I wanted to kind of take a step back and just only play shows for the fun of it. Is that what you kind of?
Not at first, but further down the line. When I first joined, I was like, oh, I'll sort all this because I was like young and had more free time because I was at uni still. So I was like, yeah, I'll sort of like book the tours and stuff.
Yeah.
And then as time went on and I finished uni, got a job, just get like tired after work and stuff, and like can't be bothered anymore.
For sure.
It's like I don't know, maybe like a year or two in, I was like, I don't want to do like all those bits now as much on my own. Like,
okay.
and I think the main thing is like playing in it. It's like very hard to play. I play bass in it. It's like improved my guitar playing loads.
Yeah, I mean that's what I that's when I realised when I saw you play on that Jesus Piece tour. It was the London date that I kind of really paid attention, like actually how 'Cause I mean, like you're still like a good guitar player, but I think on bass, obviously the style of music and hill that you play, like it's really technical.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I don't know, kind of seeing you the difference playing like guitar and bass is quite like, I don't know, it's quite drastic, but like it's sick like how good you playing at bass. 'Cause obviously like in Hilly it's such a technical band and like no one really mucks up.
Harley always notices.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like 2 notes.
Like, exactly, but I think it's cool kind of me kind of really realizing, kind of actually appreciate, like, you know what, Jonny actually like, for sometimes how annoying you kind of can be during practices and stuff. But I think at the end of the day, it's kind of like, no, I do understand why Jonny kind of decides this, and it does actually kind of work, you know. But yeah, I think so.
I think the main thing in Hilly is the reason it's mainly hard is like there's so many like note changes. It'd be like the same riff, like a 4 times through as normal, but each time there'll be like a difference. There'll be like different notes in a different place, and you have to like remember each time. And it's like for the whole song, like every
song. So with Nihility, why is it that they're just not as full time as Realm or?
Oh, that's
because like if anything, you see more of a buzz and potential that isn't being used as much with Nihility.
Well, we tried to like push it further by getting into like the more metal thing, but nothing's really come of it.
Yeah.
Like, so I feel like you don't need to.
Like we got like the post. Well, we want to play more than just hardcore shows. That's the main thing.
But
not,
like,
not that we want to be in metal. We want to just like play other shows, but
I get that.
But we don't really get offered it.
Right.
So I think that's quite weird. 'Cause I mean,
we've been offered a death metal show, like literally like a few days ago. We're trying to see if we can play it. I mean, like clashes with someone else, but we're trying to work out if we can do it. But yeah, we never get offered. We always get offered like fucking beatdown shows. And it's like, okay, you've seen what we can play.
Yeah,
like,
we're not a beatdown band.
I don't know. Not that, like, I don't know. Beatdown's cool if you're into it, but like, for like what we would play, we want to play to like people who are mainly more into like technical music.
Yeah.
Because we've never really done that, and
True.
It's like it will give us. If we can do that, we get to like more people, especially with like the new album. Like the guitars on it are like crazy.
But that's it. Like it's
like not the bass, like the actual guitar.
It's like it's such a drastic difference. Because I think the first your first EP that you've got anyway is more, I don't know, it's kind of like, it's still like kind of death metal or whatever, but it's like more hardcore influence. And I think the new one is kind of, the new album straight up like kind of like just metal.
Yeah, I think that's like what Hilly always needed to be.
Yeah.
Like, first EP is cool, like new album's like 500 times better.
Yeah.
I think the next thing we're doing,
I think like the production on it is like literally insane.
Yeah,
like, I don't think I've ever heard like kind of a DIY kind of like metal band sound like that good. Like
the guy did Bed in Prison. So like, I think it was always going to sound good. I think it's just weird the fact that a band that like underground does sound good, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, well obviously we know Nihility is obviously kind of more exciting, but yeah, we'll probably talk more about like Realm now. So what you know, I don't even know. Just talk about like the demo first, if you want to talk about.
Demo, alright.
Yeah, and kind of obviously to how, I don't know how the band is now and what
so
kind of
demo. So we got a demo, which is 4 songs, an album, 11 songs, another EP, 3 songs, and we just literally finish off on another album now, which is like going to be like 9, maybe 10. I reckon it'll be 9 songs though. I don't know. The 2 songs on the demo we re-recorded for the album because they were good enough.
I was about to say, because I know you played. Do you play one of the songs in Knots?
Slave Nation and Misanthropy. They're on the demo and they're on the album.
Because I don't know if you played the song that you played in Knots. I don't know if that was the one from the demo.
No, we played one of the demo songs off at what do you call it? The Desolated show.
Yeah,
like, we play that because it's quite memey and funny sometimes to play. Yeah, I don't know. Like 2 songs on the demo were good. 2 songs were. One song was a bit crap. But it's quite funny to play. That's the one that said we play it sometimes just because it's funny. Cool. And then the other song on it, it's like it could be really good. Like if we rewrote that song now, it'd probably be like good enough to go with like normal songs. But I think we've progressed to being a lot better.
So I'd say would you say like Realm Torment is like your favourite band that you're currently in? Apart from the new one, which we're going to talk about as well.
I don't know. Yeah, probably. Just because, like, I don't know, it's easy. Yeah. Like, Nihility, I've got to think about it and practice at home. Realm,
but
I don't really need to practice.
I guess with the new bands, kind of a bit like obviously, you haven't even played a show yet, so obviously a bit weird kind of you say, oh yeah, this band's going to be better.
Yeah. I think also the main reason with Realm is, if like the band, like, I don't know what the word is, like the vibe. like fits my like personality more.
What?
Like,
well, you just take control of everything, just like
not even that.
and roast jawbone.
Yeah, I'm like in control of things, but I mean more like on Twitter we just post like memes 24/7.
Yeah.
Like the other
I mean, I
are
think
more, like,
that's
they're trying to be serious.
I think
that's bad.
I think it's kind of good with some bands when they kind of know like they don't take themselves like fully serious. I think like a band that does it really well with Counterparts. Like they literally kind of roast themselves. They roast themselves all the time. So I think they literally just said. I think they're playing a song from like their first. They're there. If I can talk. They're playing a song from their first album, and they're like, "Oh, if you don't give a shit, like we're just not gonna play it ever again." So it's kind of like, I think it's quite funny. They kind of like, because considering like the lyrics are quite like deep and meaningful and stuff.
Like, I mean, you can't really do memey stuff with Nihility. With like, you listen to the songs, it's a bit like.
Well, no. I mean, I think you can do, but I think it'd be just kind of weird. Like you've got a really serious band, like obviously with the artwork and stuff, and you kind of they're posting memes like, "Oh yeah, we're a deathcore band."
Which
whatever.
band
It's like,
are you talking about?
It's like
Realm's a meme in Nihility.
Oh, sorry, like that, right? Okay.
Yeah.
But
yeah, like we could, I don't know. Yeah, I'm trying to think of like funny Realm stuff, which is why it's good.
I think that Fortnite one was pretty good.
What was on the Fortnite one?
I think you literally posted a thing like,
we was on the way to a show and just post a photo of like, one of our pages of like the Fortnite guy like flying over the motorway.
I'll say, what's your favourite thing that you've released with Realm?
Think the best thing we will ever do is like the last EP we did. Everyone says the album's like the best thing, but like songwriting wise, then like that EP is way better than anything else we.
Yeah. What about the new?
All the songs is like proper flow, like from start to finish.
What about the new stuff? Do you reckon that'll be your best thing? Do you reckon that'll be like?
I think people in hardcore will like that the least out of the three because it's like proper deathcore.
Really?
Yeah, it's weird. It's like deathcore and metalcore.
So what do you reckon you're gonna possibly maybe try and play to a different crowd then maybe?
Well, I mean, we could. If we got offered it, we would. Yeah. I think it would go down more well in places like Europe. Like,
but there's thing like I know
there's so many like beatdowns. And we never had like beatdowns really. And this one's all like slams. I think we've got like Pain Incarnate and Slave Nation. Yeah. There's never really any. But like all of these, 90% of the songs have like a slam.
Oh really? Cool.
Yeah.
So like
and we got a tapping bit. Really well, we got like a tapping bit.
Like really? A tapping bit or like a
deathcore tapping bit.
Like, is Jorba doing the
taps? Jack. I wrote it, but he plays it cleaner than me, so he's playing it.
Oh my god! You just said something polite about him.
Well, he'll just say, yeah.
So. But all right,
but
cool.
I still wrote it. He couldn't write it. So whatever.
Cool. I mean, obviously people in UK hardcore know about us like Realm, Nihility, and all the other bands that you've been in.
Yes.
What is tour like, and do you want to explain to people who might not know what touring is?
Or tour again differs with the bands.
Yeah,
like Realm tour is definitely different to a tour.
Yeah, fine. We'll go.
So what do you mean, like booking it or like being on tour?
Yeah, it's being on tour. Yeah, we'll talk about more. Obviously, Realm.
So
obviously,
being
Realm
on
is
tour is like the best thing ever. Mainly in Europe, because like done England so many times now. It's a bit like just going to like another English city with like horrible weather. It's not that exciting. When you go Europe, everyone's so much nicer. You get fed there so much better.
They really like respect bands.
Yeah, because I feel like where we kind of went there was completely different. Because obviously we've done that Europe tour, then we've done that tour with Valiers, and on Europe tour, like we literally got fed like so and just treated so nicely.
Yeah,
I mean to the people that were, the booking agents that were actually there.
In like Bordeaux and
because they gave us that wine, didn't they? And then that vegan curry.
Loads, and the one thing that I didn't get is we played like a 35-40 minute set.
Yeah,
and they were just like, why aren't you playing more?
Oh
like,
yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
like,
that's funny.
Yeah, they wanted us to play for like an hour and a half.
Did you have that issue in Europe? Anyone who play for like longer? Because I remember
that Slovakia show. That's the only time we've had.
Yeah, because every time the shows that we play, they were like, oh, why don't you play longer? It's like this is like normal times we play in the UK.
Stupid on our part. Yeah, because it's just like, why would you come here and play a 30-minute set? Which is completely right, because that is the dumbest thing you can possibly do.
Yeah.
Trying to think. Yeah, like. Even like the government, like the way like politically, like underground music in Europe is like dealt with so much better. Like venues in like Belgium and Germany get like government funding.
I was about to say
it's like protected.
It's crazy.
I mean, I wish we kind of had that here because that'd be like
one of our friends in Belgium was saying, can't remember the exact figures, but he was saying this show that he was doing was getting paid like £200 by the government to like just run a show.
That's crazy.
Like nuts.
Cool.
And then you get like really good food and they sort you out better with accommodation.
Yeah, that was what was mad as well. Like was it the
it won't just be a lot of the time. It won't just be a house. You'll get like I don't know, someone really cool to stay. Like we played in Dresden. Yeah, and they had like kind of like their own flats, kind of thing, like 5 minutes away from the venue.
That's insane.
I think that's just what's so mad about it. Is like, so again, Europe, like they paid for hotels one of the nights.
It was in France, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it was the Ibis Hotel, wasn't it?
Yeah, so you give us like loads of money to play this like tiny bar, and then you pay for a hotel.
That was insane. I remember that.
Feed us as well, because you go down into the
because it was them 3 people, wasn't it? They're like, oh my god, we love your band. And they wanted us to sign all the EPs and stuff. That was jokes, and they kept like looking at in the van, because obviously. Because on the first day, obviously, our van got smashed, wasn't it? Yeah. So obviously, we were a bit like skeptical, like, don't know, kind of got really shocked. Yeah, but obviously, they were really nice people. Whatever.
That's one thing I've never had. Never had a problem in Europe.
I was about to say,
ever.
Have you had like a break-in or anything like that?
Literally nothing. Never had like a tyre go.
Touch wood.
Never never scratch of paint.
That isn't
weird. Really. So I say, we're talking about that. And what's probably the worst like moment that you've been on? I mean, if there is like a worst moment where you've kind of been like, I just want to go home.
I only had one bad moment, and you know what it is already. Like the last Nihility tour. Oh god!
Oh, was that the thing of
how long we got? It's a very long story.
I mean, how long do we have, or how long have we been on?
37 minutes.
We have the studio until 8, so.
Mate,
cool.
Okay.
Cool, that's fine. Cool, that's fine. Well, that's cool view.
Right. I'm just curious now.
Do you not know it? No. Must do.
Oh yeah, this is good. Yeah. Okay. Come on, Jonny.
Where to start? So yeah. Booked. So there's a Facebook group when you book tour drivers. Yeah. You just post in there saying, got tour this dates, who can do it, how much money, blah blah blah. Someone replies, you sort them out. A lot of the time, I'm normally able to go with someone who I kind of know who they are. Okay. But this time we're finding it quite tricky, and just had to like go with some random guy. He doesn't have any photos on his Facebook, so I can't really tell what. Can't really tell what he looks like. So he turns up.
We can beep that out.
So like, get him. Yeah. Turns up on the first day of the tour. Picks up and it's like this short, bold, overweight. Hey, I'm not dissing him for being overweight. I'm just saying the facts.
That's right, we're beeping.
Yeah, we'll beep that out as well.
Guy in this like terrible van, and he looks like he found out he was like 60, and he looked like he was gonna die. So. Yeah, terrible van. First few days aren't too bad. Yep. He turned up a bit late. I've never really had anyone turn up late, so that was the first. I was like, And then I think the third day was in Scotland, and we were going from like Nottingham. As we got towards like the Scottish border, like I don't know, maybe like an hour or 2 away, we got to a services and stopped. And he like pulled the bonnet up of the car, and he was like looking at it. It was like really weirdly. We were like, Never, not noticed anything's wrong, so I don't know. Maybe he's just checking. It's like whatever. Get going again. And he stops on like the side of the motorway and does it again. We're like, what the fuck? And then as he's outside looking at it, one of the other guys is saying he noticed like the warning lights on for like the engine or something on the car, on the van. We're like, oh fuck's sake. He said it's been on for ages. We're like, why haven't you said anything this whole time when you said it's been on for ages? And then carried on again. This whole time he's like filling up with water, so we think there's like a leak or something. Yeah. So then stop again. It was like coming off the motorway, like a slip road. It was like one that's like just uphill. Mm-hmm. So he was like stops on this like tiny little hill bit, like on the side of the motorway. All these cars whizzing past. We're like, oh my god, what is this? And he does it again, and then he like says to us he thinks there might be a problem. And then
by the way,
and we get over the Scottish border, and it's like Gretna, wherever the hell that is. It's like in the middle of nowhere in England and Scotland. Yeah. And then we had to stop at like this garage, and it's like, yeah, it's fucked. This was at like, so the show, I don't know. Yeah, so we had to take one of our friends from the day before to the show, and his band were opening the show. So he was with us, so he couldn't be late. And it was probably like 4:00, and the show starts at like 7. And then he called the AA or something, and they took like 2 hours to come just to check it. So we were sat there for 2 hours, and then or an hour and a half. I can't remember exactly what it was. We were like, "What is this?" We were all just like wanting to like just die. It was so bad. We sat in this random pub. It was all like the middle of nowhere as well. Yeah. And then the guy comes and says, "Yeah, there's nothing I can do." There was like a garage next door. They didn't have like the one part we need. It was in like Scotland. So he was like, can get you a tow truck, and the insurance also gave you like a cover car.
Mm-hmm.
So we're like, well, we'll have to do that then. But we had to wait for them to come, which was like maybe like another hour or half an hour, I don't know what. And we were all trying to figure out how we're going to get to the show, because our friends band were playing first. We were like, had to get there on time. And we were like, shit, how are we even going to do this? So the truck and car arrived on time somehow, like just about managed to get there at a good time. So then all of Nihility got in the car minus Gibbons, who was with Jesus Piece. He was like off with them.
Okay.
And then Fisher, our friend who was in that first band, drove the hire car with us in with all our equipment. Like,
what was the hire?
I don't know, something that could not really go at the speed that he was having to drive it down the motorway to get there on time. I don't know how fast we were going, but it was pretty fast. So we got there like literally 10 minutes before they had to play, like their start time was. So we pull up outside, he just like parks the car, fucks off, runs in. We get all the stuff out. Another 10 minutes later, the tow truck turns up with the van on the back with everyone else in the van. And then because they've got to take the van somewhere to fix it, we've got to take everything out the van and put it in the venue, like sleeping bags, cabs.
God. What was the venue?
Audio in Glasgow. And like Servitude were playing like when we were taking everything in, so I was just like walking through like the middle of the pit with like sleeping bags on and stuff. That was so bad. And then they fixed it the next morning and it worked fine for the rest of the tour. But then there's like a whole palaver of everyone trying to agree how much money we're going to pay him for like that day.
Ooh.
Essentially.
And what did it? What was it settled on?
That's another story.
I mean, I remember because that was after...
Ash was there at the time.
It's after lunch, so I remember because that was when the apartments, in London got burnt down. Yeah. Because I remember, because I looked, so I was like, Jesus Christ, like the building caught fire. It was just insane. And yeah, basically it was like was it Harley and Larry?
Harley and Williams.
Oh, sorry, Harley and Williams. They were kind of deciding like, they don't really like, because obviously that whole fiasco happened in Glasgow. I think they were kind of saying, oh, we don't want to pay him as much as we did, because obviously you didn't do the service, right? Mm-hmm. And bear in mind, it was about 5 a.m. on Monday. Sorry, like half 3, like on Monday. Bear in mind, Johnny's got work in like 3 hours. Literally, Johnny almost like lost the plot. I don't think I've ever seen you that mad before. He was literally like, I don't care. Pay him the money. I literally have work in like 3 hours. Just pay him. Just do whatever. Like, I've never seen Johnny literally like kind of take authority like that and just kind of be like, nah, like honestly, I don't care at this moment in time. I just want to go home. Like, it was just...
That was bad. And then Realm had a tour the week after, and guess who our driver was?
No.
Yeah.
Was that actually?
Yeah.
Why?
And the money still wasn't sorted, so we were like having to deal with that while we was on tour as well. So, yeah, that's my one bad tour story.
Cool. But
everything else has been okay.
Yeah.
Everything else has been pretty funny.
Pretty good one. But yeah, with that story, do you reckon touring has like kind of changed you like as a person?
Yeah, I've got like way more like get shit done attitude.
Yeah. Do you reckon like your confidence is more like you can actually talk to these people and like I don't know, if people would be like, oh, we can't pay this amount of money, whatever, you're like, well, no, we agreed on this much. Like, or...
In Realm, Ryan kind of does that because Ryan like loves it.
Oh really?
I don't know why. I don't know if it's like his dawdiness, but he just loves like going up to the promoters and being like, yo, can we get our money?
Yeah.
I think that's like Conor Pierce actually.
Really?
They're quite.
He was so organised on that Europe tour. Do you remember that his little book that he had?
Yeah.
His stuff and like
literally
like loading times, venue. Oh man, it was
I've done that before. I used to do that.
Yeah.
Like I think it's helped me in terms of like organisation. Like
cool.
I could, if there's ever a job going or someone was like, yo, I would know someone here who can get you a job doing tour manager. I'd be able to like kill it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Easy.
Cool. But
that's one life lesson.
And like, yeah, I think like the just getting stuff done attitude, because so many times I've had like tour dates cancelled like a week before. I've
only been on one tour that's had no cancellations.
Oh really?
Yeah. There's always been one.
Like you just got to like figure out a way, even if it's like a way worse show. Just like find a way to do it basically.
Yeah, for sure.
But earlier on also we were talking about Rage and stuff. So why did you decide to make Rage? The first time.
So, like I said before, planned it to be a label. No, sorry, a zine, just a zine. Then it went into a label like not long after.
So how come you decided to make that like that transition to be like, oh, I want to do these?
There wasn't even really a reason. It was literally just my friend had a new band.
We just wanted to put it out.
Well, I'm just going to do it. I didn't really think about it, and then it kind of like went on the back burner with UIC, and then when UIC ended, it kind of like rebirth, I guess. It was like back then Rage was like nowhere near as good as it is now.
Yeah. I was about to say
one of the second tape I did, it's like, like the side panel with like the band name on.
Yeah.
The band name like wraps around the side and it's like not on the panel, it's like on the underneath bit.
Solid.
I mean, like, I think, I don't know, I don't really want to kind of like lick your ass with it, but I do think Rage is like, but for
why
like
do
UK,
I like it?
What I mean? But for like UK hardcore, like, I don't know, I still think Rage is really good because like some of the releases that you've had out, thinking about it now is pretty insane. Like, do you know what I mean? Especially like with Vane, Queensway.
Well, I haven't done Knife yet.
Oh, sorry, I thought you did.
Is that another beeping situation?
Is that another beeping one? Or?
Yeah, we'll beep it.
We'll beep that one. But anyway, with like Vane, because obviously now they're like, well, they're pretty massive now, aren't they? Do you know what I mean? They're playing like Outbreak. So how do you think it kind of feels like?
We sold a tape that we did of the split. It cost like, I don't know, like £2 to make a tape, and I sold it for like £70.
Yeah. I mean,
crazy.
I mean, I don't know.
It's weird how big they've got.
Yeah, but I just think with like other bands that you've kind of done, I'm trying to think off the top of my head, or even so I like, you know, like that Clear the Sky record a couple of years ago.
Say Servitude, like
literally,
Servitude, pretty popular.
Yeah, I
mean,
you've sold like so much stuff. Elegy as well in the UK as well.
Yeah, like we sold like 50 shirts.
That sold
like,
well,
really fast.
But do you know, it's more like,
I think they're the main, like bigger, like most selling ones.
I mean, I think it's kind of weird. Do you know, I mean, if you look back at it in 5 years, and do you know what I mean? If like, let's say like Servitude do become a bigger band from that now, do you know what I mean? It's kind of weird to kind of think like, oh, I'm going to release like these. I've released these bands when they were like first starting out. Like I helped them pave that way to to release other bigger stuff.
Another weird thing is like we were working out the other day. Even though Realm's not big, we've sold like so many records.
Yeah.
There's like.
But that's what I'm saying. Do you not think it's kind of like, I don't know, kind of like I said, looking back from now, it's like, oh, I've released all these like bands that have.
And now I'm skint.
but I bet it's been like sick. Do you know, like I said.
Oh yeah, like I did kind of say like around college, I was like, oh, I'd be sick if I had like a record label one.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't know. I just think, like I said, I think for like UK hardcore, I think it's a really good platform. If, like I said, if you think if you like that band, you'll put them out. Because isn't that how the way you run it? It's not kind of like, oh, this band approached you. If you do it, like, is it more like is it more like if you like the band, you'll put it out, or is it more like if you know this band will sell now, you'll release it? Or
90% if we like it.
Yeah.
So 5% if I know it will sell.
But I say,
I think you need to know it's going to sell to some extent.
So I said, do you want to mention any other people who are in Rage if you want to shout them out? I mean,
like bands?
No, people like who help you into Rage, Rage now, because obviously it's not just you.
I started it on my own, and then after restarting it, Jack from Realm joined, I don't know, year and a half in, I don't know exactly. Pardon me. And Ollie Parker did as well. And then Ollie Johnson joined for like a very short period.
Yeah.
Did like the Nihility album, maybe something else, can't remember. And then Connor Close also does like sorts out like the tape designs and stuff. Yeah, it's pretty much everyone in it. It's pretty basic, really. If we like a band, we'll see if we can afford doing it. If we can afford it, we'll do it.
Yeah, I'm trying to think now.
Although we do get some people
soon as well.
What's that?
What are you releasing soon?
So just released literally 10 minutes ago. Less Than Zero demo.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So I think.
Put this in the. Can we put?
You're not seeing me on my foot just staring.
I was about to say that.
I was wondering what that was
like,
right.
Because
we need. We should put it in the podcast.
What the whole thing? Right, first live play.
Do that. Oh my days.
Should have done like streaming party.
Yeah.
Oh my god, imagine. But yeah, I think Connor was on about it
just
before.
Just add a song or something like that.
Yeah, we'll add a song in whatever one whatever you want. Then
the lead single.
We're doing
the commercial one.
We're doing Cruelty's coming out Monday. It's like Birmingham band. It's well good.
Yeah.
It's like kind of metalcore, kind of like early 2000s hardcore, and it's also got like a weird like vibe of like a screamo band who don't want to be like a hardcore band, but they're playing like hardcore parts.
Cool.
Like
cool.
it's like interesting.
Is it? Do you know people in it? Is that?
I know who they are. I'm not really that friendly friends kind of.
I think because after the Less Than Zero recording, because All Fear Death like played like kind of straight after we finished recording, and like we caught like maybe 2 songs in it. To be fair, for like a new band, it was like
vocalist is sick.
Yeah,
He's got like sick energy. Apart from that, I haven't got that much coming up. We've got that band that we bleeped out a minute ago. Hopefully.
That's
like,
amazing.
That's like up in the air at the minute. That's like 50-50. Because
Beep
they're
is
getting
sick
quite
as well,
big,
so.
so they'll probably get
Beep
on like
is
the
sick,
big
yeah.
label who are like, you can't do anything else.
Yeah,
with
true.
like some small English label.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I think it's cool for Rage. Like they're kind of getting that kind of recognition.
I think it's bigger in America than here.
Yeah.
I think we could get bigger bands in America.
That's the
than
thing,
we
but
can
I think
here.
it's cool, Jonny, because like with American bands, you might not have heard them, but now because they're out on Rage, it's like, oh,
Yeah.
it's kind of like maybe like Queensway to a certain extent as well.
Queensway's got pretty big.
That's what I'm saying, because you released their
Yeah.
demo out in the UK. Now I think people from the UK have kind of been, oh crap, it's on Rage. I'm gonna check them out. Oh,
Even
shit.
like if you watch like some Sound and Fury videos from like last year's one, like the Vane singers wearing like Rage hoodie, like in like the background of loads of videos.
Yeah.
So
That
I
must
guess
feel really good.
like that's pretty cool.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll talk about like your new band that you're in less than
Zero.
Then. Let's talk about that. And why did you decide
pitch
to?
the idea of that band.
So
Yeah, why did you why decide to?
me and
to do
Jev
that?
talked about it. I don't know. Me and Jev talked about doing the band for like probably at least a year. We just talked about like, doing another band. I think 2 separate occasions it's come up, and there's like 2 different other styles to what it is now that we went through it being.
Okay.
We just never made it happen. And then I was like, just one day I was like, let's start talking about doing this band again. And then this time it's like all happened.
Yeah.
Like weird. I don't know. I think well for me, my brain's got to be like in a certain place to like write music.
Yeah.
Like the Overturn demo, wrote it all in like 2 weeks, and it's not that much music really, but I wrote it in like a really short period because I was in like my body and like head was in like a place where it was like could just like do it.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Kind of thing. Yeah, I don't know. It just felt right. Like we wrote the songs. We had loads of practices like writing the songs, but we didn't take that long writing them. We had like practice like every week for a while.
That's the thing. I think like I mean obviously we didn't really talk about Overturn, but do you want to quickly give a brief like 10-second what Overturn was?
Overturn's like a 90s hardcore band for like a few years. Didn't do anything that crazy. Played with like Earth Crisis, had like 1 demo, lived off that, and a Hatebreed cover. And that's about it. We played like 3 reunion shows.
I was gonna say that's like the legacy. That's been behind.
So I think when you kind of compare like the new bands to, like Overturn, I think this one band is like way more, not way more technical, but it is a bit more.
Way more thought out.
Yeah, it's not just like, I'll play this one riff here.
Because I'm loads
here,
of better
and
guitar and could have been Nihility, basically.
Yeah.
Like the end of that, the last half of that song that Robbie and you were struggling with mainly,
Yeah.
like I think that one's got so many changes and stuff. Like
Yeah, I mean
Nihility.
that's
like a kind of like Nihility thing. It's like the
Yeah.
same riff, but it's like changes quite a bit.
I don't even know what to expect.
honest. For me, I think it literally sounds like Hatebreed just with more beat downs in. But I think it's good because I literally just listened to it before.
I'd say it sounds
I
like
had
Hatebreed
you.
with less beatdowns in.
Oh,
Personally.
But then again, I've only been Target for like a week, so maybe Jonny is the best. Maybe Johnny's the best guy.
But it does actually sound like Hatebreed. Loads of bands say it.
Honestly, I'm
okay.
I'm kind of really surprised because I don't know. Like I said, because I thought it kind of sound more like kind of Overturn, but maybe it's a little bit more heavier.
There's like
but
one
I think
proper Overturn kind of bit.
But I do think out of overall, and I'm not saying it because I'm a member of the band, I do think this is probably like the best thing that you've done musically.
Really?
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's a big statement.
Ooh.
No, because
I don't know how Harley's going to take that.
Yeah.
No, but I think it's like I said, like it's all thought out and it all makes sense. And I think with Jev's, because Jev kind of helped you kind of.
Yeah, Jev's probably the best like drummer I wrote music with. Well, I've only ever really like practiced music with Andy properly.
Yeah.
Okay.
But Andy's like super talented, but like sometimes things take a little while to like go through his head and like click and like get an exact idea.
Yeah.
Like Jev, you play the riff like I don't know 3-4 times, like straight away you'll have like a bit, and then he always comes up with like little transitions.
Cool.
As well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think
like,
it is.
I
think his drum is insane. It's the song at the beginning with like that fill, and he's got like the little ride thing. It's just like what the hell, Jev. But you know, I'm quite excited for it to come out. Hopefully, I don't know. Maybe a couple people will care, maybe not. But
I think the coolest thing about it is just there's no like straight edge bands in England at the minute. Well, there are straight edge bands, but there's not that many.
Yeah, that's
there's not like a proper heavy.
Yeah,
one
that's
either.
what's
It's not like
Connor.
since Breaking Point like broke up. There's not been like a heavy kind of straight edge.
That's
Are you
kind
more
of
focusing on straight edge than like vegan, or is it like a?
Well, everyone's vegan, but Servitude have like took that place in the market.
Okay,
People
so, like,
will
we
go
can't really go
for
there.
straight edge. Yeah. Okay.
Might say something about it on stage. But
okay, that's cool.
But yeah, no. How come then you decided that you wanted to be a frontman, and what kind of made you kind of realize like, oh, I can like slay some riffs in guitar.
That first band I said I won't name, I was the vocalist of.
Oh really?
I didn't play guitar in it.
Oh wow.
I don't know. That'd probably be different to now because like every show I was like really drunk, like really drunk.
So you nervous for the first show?
I'm pretty excited. I'm hoping the venue's big enough so I can like.
Well, I think it's the venue that you played with Realm, the Leicester one, the floor one.
Leicester Square.
I think so. Yeah.
Sick.
Cool.
I don't know. It was mainly that Realm show a few months ago in Bournemouth when Dave couldn't do vocals, so I had to do vocals, and it was pretty fun. So I was like, oh, I reckon I could do this.
Cool.
It's not that bad.
I was surprised at how good that actually was as well.
I haven't seen any photos.
I mean I think the demo for Less Than Zero. It's I think it sounds pretty good as well. Even like the production on it as well and
it's
stuff.
Probably the best. It's the best recorded demo I've done. I've never had a demo sound that good. Sounds like an actual EP.
Yeah, I mean I'm pretty excited for it to come out. Well, I mean obviously by
I've
the time
never really paid for a demo, or in a proper studio.
Yeah.
I've always been done it at home and it sounds like crap.
Yeah. I mean by the time this is out, it will be out now. So obviously.
I was going to say, shall we put the song in the podcast? Just as
we can literally have it.
I see you in dreams. No, you're a fantasy, but because you're fucking dead to me, it's a shame you've not come to realise you're unimportant. Now drip to black, now drain away. Nothing come from me with bleeding hands. Sometimes it's too easy to get caught up. Criminal deeds dispersed from my broken mind. Listen what it really means to be happy to die. Despite it all, I come to realize the pain is only temporary. Only self-inflicted. My reckless thoughts only because you're so intoxicating. Turning myself out of line. It's time to eradicate your shit. And now you know you're as welcome as the worst fucker. Where will they say? Where will you wait? Erase the memories. Forget your influence. 3 ounces go. I will end my life of this. Today we both die. Only no one cares, it's you. Tearing the iris, shatter the conscience. Oh, this is not written out of hatred, but because I know I'm better without this.
So like
Good
that was
listener.
amazing, man.
Yeah.
I'm edged now as well.
I mean, yeah, that breakdown was just woof.
I understand the hate breed thing.
Yeah.
That's really amazing.
But I don't know if you want to talk about maybe upcoming shows that we have with the band, if you want. And maybe even talk about Realm as well.
Plans,
Yeah,
future.
Talk about future plans with the current bands that you're in now, if you
all
want.
of them?
Yeah.
So Realm's doing another album, and then today.
Do you want to give us any names, what it's going to be called, or any exclusives?
Not got anything. Dave told me he actually wrote some lyrics last night.
Oh really?
Apparently, and he told me one of them is about bands who have more merch than songs. Like bands who literally just like
That's a very specific target.
Like like keep making merch over and over and over and over and over.
Yeah.
And over.
Oh, Dave's gonna annoy some people then, isn't he?
Yeah. What was I saying? Oh, we're going to Spain and Portugal in June.
Yep.
Been sorting that out today, and I've been doing my head in, like trying to get people to reply.
Can you announce it by next week by the band, or
the guy just needs to do a flyer, I think.
Right. So I guess
yeah.
we won't. Will it be in time for next week if we can
dunno.
announce this or no?
I don't think any Spanish people are going to be listening anyway.
I don't think
Cool.
anyone's going to be listening, so it doesn't matter.
And then we're going like France in September,
I'm going to see if I can do that on every
and
single
then Belgium in August. Again, that's
Can
realm.
you tell us the lineups on the ones in Belgium, or have they not been confirmed?
We're playing
or-
we're just playing like one festival. Then I think
Cool.
we're going to play at that house that we always play at.
The one with the shed.
Yeah.
Shedfest
And
2.0.
then Nihility hasn't got that much on, but I think Harley's been writing some songs. So we're going to do maybe I won't say what we're doing.
I mean, you can.
We're going to Belgium as well for like another festival.
Cool.
Like Beatdown Festival. Split Knuckle playing, I think. And then Lesson Zero. We got some shows in like London and Leicester. And
Yeah, Leicester's the first
where's
one.
the other one? I don't know.
Next week, then we've got one in Portsmouth.
And we're going to do like. Plan is to do 2 demos and then a 7-inch, like then a proper EP.
Nice.
And then I'm going to write an album if everyone's not quit by then. And just record it all myself.
I mean, you pretty much did anyway.
Do you have the intention of adding a guitarist at all?
Yeah, we just don't have anyone Southampton. It's straight edge.
I mean,
Barney leaving.
He's leaving.
Well,
We talked about it.
But we
with him.
literally asked Barney. He was like, "Oh, I don't really want to do it anyway." I'm like,
Did
"No."
he? When did he say that?
He literally said it the other
Did he?
day when we were at the fair.
Oh, I can't
He
remember.
was like, "Oh, like," because he obviously kept saying like, "Oh, but you didn't ask me." I was like, "Well, we literally said like, do you want to join?" He was like, "Oh no, I don't really want to anyway." So it's like, shut up, Barney.
Yeah, it's not really anyone.
Go join Pale Cheeks again, mate.
Whale belly. And this is how we can like plug my podcast with Barney.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, check it out. It's good. But yeah, no, I want to talk about probably the biggest thing I'd probably say Rage has done, maybe for putting on a show. So let's talk about amongst the chaos.
Oh,
because I think that's quite a.
Made loads of money on the first one. It was sick.
I think that's quite a. I don't think it's one of them shows where. Like, you're going to see the lineup, and I think in like another 5 years, you'll think like, what the hell, like, how the hell did like Ithaca play there?
Employed to Serve.
Employed to Serve play
maybe,
there.
I'd say, yeah.
Like,
Repentance, like obviously like
loads of
Repentance
people
last show.
A lot of people didn't watch Employed to Serve.
I remember being in the room and it being
'cause-
like 20
'cause-
It's like
odd
half as
people.
busy.
It was
Because people
not
are
busy
morons. Because I don't know, Employed to Serve probably one of the best. Like, I don't even.
They're the best band that night for me. So, and there was like no one there. You were moshing by yourself.
Because they'd done the Normal Gene cover and it
Yeah.
popped off. But yeah, no, yeah. Talk about that. How come you wanted to do that, and how did you get in contact with all the bands and stuff?
It's kind of just like, I don't know. We're trying to think how to explain
Did you want to replicate Hellfest 2002?
Yeah, I wanted to do that. It's kind of just like, I don't know, because I don't want to do normal shows all the time anymore. Like an all dayer for kind of like, it's kind of like for the label, but not. It was kind of like bands like surrounding the label essentially. So yeah, most people in the bands I know anyway. Well, I think pretty much know everyone in all the bands, so I just like messaged them.
Yeah.
Had quite a few bands pull out, like quite close to it, which was a bit tricky. But like figured a way around it. Been thinking of plans for like doing the next one, just haven't got to it yet.
Yeah.
I think we got like 2 good ideas for a headliner, but
Do you want to give us something exclusive?
Again, we can beep it. You can just tell us, and we can beep. Ah.
I think considering
Wow.
considering how good like Beep were at Beep, they were insane.
they were so sick.
But yeah, no, I
Hopefully.
think.
Depends how much money they cost.
Yeah.
I don't know how much they both cost
I mean,
together.
I think like going to Monk's Chaos, I think it was one of the first like. I think it probably was like my first like hardcore like all day and stuff, and I don't know. I just think like the atmosphere was just sick, and just everyone's having a.
It was sick.
How-
It's basically like everyone there knew each other.
Well,
like
exactly,
90%
yeah.
of people there were like.
Yeah.
I mean,
in the same
I
friend
think
group.
it's good because I don't think you've got like obviously like Outbreak
So
there,
consistent all day as well.
and you've got like Sweatfest. Then I think you still got like amongst Chaos for the South Coast. So I don't know. I just think hardcore shows in general, there's not really a lot down south anymore. And
Probably do it again.
And I think we can all probably maybe talk about like with venues and stuff. Do you just think now maybe
Like joiners.
as I say,
engine
maybe
rooms
the reason why
and and Talking Heads.
Yes, yeah.
They're the only realistic ones.
That's what I say. Is that the reason maybe why you feel like that you can't really do a lot of hardcore shows anymore, because there just isn't a lot of venues which are cheap and
yeah, I think it's mainly the
can
money
do
thing.
it.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't think how many venues there are as much
I
as,
think so, I know,
as
like-
much as they cost.
so,
Obviously,
like-
Joiners is like proper venue.
It's
Yeah, unless you get a
expensive.
really good crowd, I have to like pay a bit of my own money,
Yeah,
which I'm not
for
really
sure.
willing to do now. I could do it before,
and that's it.
easily,
And
but,
plus, like, if there's a band like you still want to put on, but if they can't guarantee that amount of pool, it's like, well, you're not gonna lose money.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? 'Cause obviously at the end of the day, it's still like
when we used to do shows, every single show I'd lose money, but I had like student loan and stuff.
Yeah.
But now like got a job,
But that's it.
like,
Because I think hopefully
can't really like risk losing money.
Yeah, no.
I'll pay my
100%.
money on my own bands, but not risk losing like
Money on
loads on, like,
shows.
one show.
But I think what would be cool if maybe, I don't know, if we got in contact with Heartbreakers, because I think when I've talked to some
I've
people,
never
like,
even seen
it's-
it inside, so I don't even know what it's like.
Apparently, it's like it would be sick for hardcore shows, but I
Really?
don't think really anyone's kind of asked them like
They've
kind
got
of
like their own kind of branding as a venue that you can kind of see, and
Yeah.
and I can't imagine them doing hardcore shows.
I mean, I think it'd be like
End of
amazing.
Heartache Fest. End of Heartbreaker Fest.
That we.
I mean,
That's
like,
sick.
yeah, but like even the way that they kind of like show themselves and
Yeah.
their logo and everything, it
It's
just
all,
looks
like, nice.
so much nicer and indie and stuff like that. Whereas you've got like Joiners, and that's you don't look at Joiners and go, that's this specific thing.
Mm.
Like,
Yeah, for
and
sure.
I think with Heartbreakers, I think they're just trying to basically say, don't come here, Greebs.
No, the thing is, though, but I don't understand why the venue wants to do. I mean, if it is true or whatever, like,
So no one
because it,
dies.
no, but it's not even that. But at the end of the day, it's like, let's say if Johnny did put on the show there, he's still paying them money.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like, why would you lose out with
I
that?
might not want to get lumped in with it.
Yeah, I guess, but I don't know. It's still just like, if a show's a show, like you would want to try and make as much money as you can. Like, I'd even, if I was them, I'd be like, we'll just try once, and if it's really that bad, we just won't do it again.
True.
At least
Yeah,
you can
yeah.
say like, oh, we've done it. We've made money from it.
I
Yes.
concur.
You know, but yeah, let's trying to think. Yeah, for a top 5, what would you say your top 5 UK hardcore records?
Oh boy.
I mean, it's not really hardcore, but we can.
Yes.
Or maybe like top 5, yeah, UK hardcore to like
Probably.
maybe for people to get into as well. we'd say.
Abolition self-titled album.
Yep.
True Valiance Expect Resistance album.
It's all sound like hate breed song titles.
What's that?
All sound like hate song titles.
I said it wouldn't be that hard, but
Yeah.
I'm trying to think now.
You can say Architects if you want, mate.
Oh. I'm going to say Count Your Blessings, Bring the Horizon, because they played hardcore shows back in the day. So
Yeah, that's
So-
true. I mean, yeah,
even though they're not a hardcore band,
hardcore band, but
it's
That
roots
was
in
around
it.
the time that he pissed on someone, I think.
yeah.
Seventh Cross, maybe.
Right, that's 4.
Demon's March, whatever that album's called. God, can't think. Probably got to put Knuckle Dust in there.
Yeah,
I'm always torn between Knuckle Dust though, between Time Heals Nothing.
that is that one with the church.
I always forget which covers which. I'm really bad with like names and covers.
with the.
And Promises Comfort Falls. I'm always like torn up
Yeah.
between which one's my favourite out of those two.
We can add both of them in. That's cool.
And I don't know, 5th. Don't really know about a 5th if I'm honest. Maybe
Dead Swans.
a BWP album, because that's pretty important for like a point in
Yeah.
time. And also say like Dead Swan's first album,
Yeah.
And
because
Golden
again,
Age by
Your
Your
Demise.
Demise.
Nah, you're right.
I mean, I'd put. I think like that Last Witness album. The last one they did was pretty sick.
Oh,
Morning
I
After?
don't really like it.
No.
I like the first one.
Or-
First one's one of my favourites.
Which
probably,
one's one
actually.
with Dreamland Welcomes You on?
That's EP.
Oh, EP.
What do you call it?
I
Give
forgot.
Up?
That's so hard, that riff.
But I love
Fucking
their first album.
sick.
That's like one of my favourite UKHC things.
Cool.
Call it Unfinished Life.
But yeah, with we were talking about UK hardcore thing. Is there any new bands that you would probably tell people to check
There's
out?
not that many new bands at the minute, I
No.
don't think.
I mean,
really.
is
I think
there
they've all
any-
been around a while,
Or
but
maybe not like brand new ones, but like maybe bands have been around for like a couple of years. Maybe people should. People, I mean, if people want to get into like hardcore, or whatever,
if
what
you
bands
like
would you?
metal, listen to Revolve and Cruelty when that comes out.
Yeah.
I don't think what else. That Cheap Surgery band they're called from Leeds. They're like really punky. I don't really like punky stuff, but like I've literally probably only listened to their band like 4 or 5 times, but they were like really good for that kind of thing.
Cool.
Okay.
That's all I
Okay.
remember. Trying to think what else. Chamber doing things like I think
The US one, huh?
Yeah, I think like when their new stuff comes out, they're gonna get a bit more popular.
Yeah, I think their new sound suited them way better when they played with.
They're recording when the Hilly recorded.
That will sound interesting.
So I don't know. I could go. I don't know. It could sound like way too good.
Because I know that they tune.
But the guy's sick, so probably like make it like.
Because I know when they played High Power, when they played the 2 songs off the demo, they tuned like lower as well. So it's gonna be quite high. It might be even higher.
I don't know about tunings.
Yeah, they played slightly lower, but I think it suits Ross's voice like way. It suits Ross like way better.
I think it'll probably sound sick just for its that, but it's just like weird that they're recording when Nihili and
that's what I'm saying.
When they're like a hardcore band,
it's gonna be kind of weird.
Pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I'd like to know what the guy thought about it because he probably doesn't record that many like hardcore bands either.
Yeah, true.
Right then. Well,
no, New Ironed Out, it's fucking sick. So good.
It's fucking sick, mate.
So good.
Is that
if you like the streets and like heavy music, listen to Ironed Out.
Is that
streets?
Yeah, they've got like rapping and stuff.
Unreal.
And they're from London, and they just sound proper Cockney.
Okay,
sick.
right.
It's just like got that like
Ironed
UK
Out.
like street.
All right.
Is that out on Rage Records?
Oh, I wish it was. It's so bad. They're probably my favourite band at the minute, actually.
Yeah, cool. Right. Well, like I said, obviously talking about how many bands that you've been in. What would you say your favourite releases with all of them now? Not just with Realm, like all of your releases. What would you say if you could pick one like record, even if it's like a demo EP or whatever, would be your favourite? Would be your favourite one?
But don't say I got a favourite, but the most important one is probably that Split Knuckle EP, not the last one, the one before. With like
No, sorry, I mean with the bands that you've. Nah, the bands that you've been in. We can ask one about Rage as well.
Okay. Oh, I don't know.
Got the answer now.
Favourite release I've done? I don't know. Might say Overturn because the shows are always just jokes.
Yeah.
It was just like always fun. It was always like really easy to play. Everyone just like jumped around. Everyone liked it. It was like really simple and straightforward.
I mean, hopefully we can get the same reaction with LTZ.
Yeah, probably not. Adam's not in it.
I don't know, mate. You've got like your cardio is like probably the best that I've ever seen. So you probably run just like banging out people.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna run around so much. It's gonna be sick. I hope someone films a little bit at the first show, like Instagram, so I can like post it and be like, "Yo, I'm in a band."
Yeah, no,
look how cool I am.
Probably will. Yeah, there is one question which I told Connor this would be quite hard for you to answer. What would your dream super group lineup be? So if you had like one,
that's not even that hard, you know.
No,
I've like tweeted about it like.
Yeah, I mean we've kind of so obviously like one vocalist from one band, one guitarist, or 2 guitarists, bassist, and then a drummer.
We didn't actually.
We didn't ask ourselves, but we kind of thought maybe what people
would
choose.
Who do you think?
No, that's not how it works, my friend.
Okay. So, drums between 2 people. I could go for either.
Yeah, you have to choose one.
Okay.
You have to choose one. Sorry, Johnny.
Misery Signals drummer.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's his name? One of the brothers. Can't think of what his name is. I was getting confused. It's either between him and the August Burns Red drummer.
Fair. Yeah.
But went Misery Signals because I think he's a bit more weird with like time signatures.
Yeah.
Guitars, JB from August Burns Red.
Mhm.
And
he's sweaty as well.
And the guitarist from the Asian guitarist from Undying. I don't know his name, but he's insane. He's like so good at playing like mellow death.
Yeah.
Sick as fuck. Like those two together, like technical, like breakdowns of JB and then mellow death of thingy.
Okay, what about bassist?
Bass. Don't even know any bassists. Who's sick bass? Oh, bass. The Arusha Record bassist. Because he is insane. Have you ever seen him in real life?
No.
I'll show you a video.
I've heard. Oh no, I have. He does all like slap
He's
stuff.
Like
he does all like
taller
tapping
than
stuff.
Dave. Kind of looks like the Great Carly. He's hench. Plays without shoes on, and he's like plays tapping. He's like.
Right. What about
vocalist?
Yeah, vocalist.
Oh, that's a hard one. That's very hard. Probably go. Oh, I don't know.
That's what's so hard is because like if you're thinking about an actual group as well, like.
Because I want someone who can like sing and scream.
Yeah, but then I don't think Chino from Deftones would exactly suit.
Yeah, I'd probably have Jesse from Killswitch.
Oh yeah.
Or Sam Carter.
Sam Carter, yeah.
I'd say Sam Carter. Oh no. Yeah, Jesse, Alive or Just Breathing era. Sick. It's got to be that era. Can't be after because it's.
So it was kind of more metalcore.
What were you saying?
Yeah, we'll kind of say more kind of like metalcore.
Oh yeah.
Definitely thought you'd put remember Kill Switch in.
Yeah, it was either that or Winston on vocals, like old Winston.
Yeah,
but Winston can't sing, so
no,
that's true.
That is literally all good. But yeah, where can people check out Rage and all the bands that you're in? If you want to plug all the social media.
Too many. Twitter's like Rage HC.
So I say we'll
I think Instagram's rage.hc, and you just like search all them different kind of things that will come up. And
can put them all in there.
Yeah, we'll put them all in anyway.
And then ragehc.bandcamp.com, and then like all the bands are on there.
Cool.
Yeah, that's all.
Right. I don't know if you want to say anything before we close us off.
Not really. Dave, do the fucking dishes.
Should we keep that in there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah.
I can relate to that.
Stop smoking weed. It's not good for you. Dave.
Just generally.
Anything else?
No, that's about it, really.
Support UK hardcore. Support Rage?
No, just don't do the dishes.
Support real lovely hardcore.
That is the perfect time to start.
Cool. Yeah, sick. Right, yeah.